Welcome back to the Just Because podcast, a podcast about all things cosplay.
This podcast is presented by me, Mangle Phantom, and
Me, Marmalade.
now we're two Australian cosplayers who are kind of stuck with each other for a little bit longer because we're going to be representing Australia next year in 2023 at the World Cosplay Summit.
Ooh. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you enjoy. Make sure to grab a snack and you can join us. We ourselves have this week's drink of choice.
Scotland black tea!
Again, it's such a good one.
It's a good one. This is a leftover from last time I found it in the fridge.
We got so lucky. It's extra cold.
That's good. Now you might be thinking, what are we doing with these poppers? You can recycle straws.
Yes.
Not in the recycling bin, but in a special recycling depot. And you get 10 cents per popper if you like that kind of thing.
Hell yeah.
Cheers to...
I'm not ready yet. You're too fast. Cheers to...
Recycling?
Oh, you spilled it!
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, crap.
It's going up my straw too. Cheers.
To
Recycling.
Let's
Yay.
go. Oh, that's good.
Yum.
It's on the aircon today, so if there's a little bit of a background hum, I'm sorry. But we're going to do our best to make this...
Australia, it's hot here.
It's hot.
Okay?
We're in summer now.
We need the aircon
We're in
on.
summer.
I know.
How's it feel?
We deserve it.
Yeah, it's good.
How does it feel to be
Summer.
in summer?
Yeah.
It's okay. You can't walk anywhere without being covered in sweat within like 2 seconds. So I don't like that part, but
Love
you know.
it. Summer's
you?
great.
I don't even have like a summer wardrobe. Like, look at me. I like literally need to go and buy like a bunch of singlets or something so that I will survive this summer.
There's like summer idol gear, surely?
Summer idol gear. Yeah, it's great. You get even sweatier when you're dancing in the heat. It's so fun.
I think it's part of the career
Commitment?
choice, part of the
Okay.
commitment,
Okay,
part of
true.
the job description.
That is true. Summer idol festival does sound very cute.
Speaking of idol festivals, you know what are at festivals for idols?
What?
Lots of photographers.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Good segue.
Cosplay photography. I came up with that on the spot. What do you think?
I know, I can tell.
Yeah, okay,
That's pretty
excellent.
good. That's pretty good.
So we had in last week's podcast, we were talking about like, you know, things that we wish we knew as a beginner cosplayer,
Yeah.
but now that we're wiser, slightly older, we've learned some things.
Yes.
And we kind of mentioned this little segment about, you know, taking photos, best way to do it, and we thought,
Taking
let's
selfies.
taking selfies. You know, we can talk for another hour about all things photos.
Even though neither of us, I mean, you dabble in a bit of photography.
Dabble in photography a little bit.
Whereas I don't think I really identify as a photographer at all.
Hmm.
I will happily take phone photos of my friends without them looking. No. Cosplay is not consent. But I don't think I've ever dabbled in camera photography. Like, I think there was a brief period where I owned a DSLR, but otherwise I've only really ever taken phone photos. But with that, I've been able to grow my social media with that, with selfies, with my own photos. So, yeah. And I work with a lot of professional photographers. So that's how I kind of interact with the photography side of cosplay.
So what we want to do in this segment today really is kind of talk about, you know, if you wanted professional photos, what you should do.
Yeah.
If you want to plan a photo shoot, what you do. If you want to just do phone photos, that's the best way to go about it. So
Which apps are the best?
Which app's the
Do
best?
you need to edit your photos?
Yeah. It's like, what are some things that you should know? Because I think it's something that no one's really born with. You kind of learn bit by bit each time. So
And I see people who are like 10 years into it who still don't really know how to take good photos.
they're doing the best.
Yeah.
But they, you know, still got lots of time. Everyone's got lots of time.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna share some insight. The Just Because crew is here to help you out for all of your cosplay needs.
We're not going to finish your costume for you.
No, you're gonna do it yourself, but we're gonna be your helping companion.
You're going to listen to us while you do it.
Of course, that's what we're here for. Now, since it's the December break,
Yes.
I think people might be maybe planning for next year if they've got
That's
a big
true.
project coming up.
Thinking of entering WCS.
Thinking of entering WCS. Maybe if you've got another big thing coming up.
Yeah.
What are you working on at the moment, Maya?
Me, in terms of cosplay.
Yeah, what are you working on?
I am...
Me too.
I have been looking at a Love Live, the like Liella uniform.
Yeah, right.
As like a fun little like side project to me, because I kind of looked at some fabrics, because we got a nice voucher from winning WCS, and I've kind of been looking at like, ooh, maybe I'll go pick up some fabrics, but at the moment I'm actually looking at getting like a big roll of muslin cloth so I can actually start making like pattern drafts and stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah, but that's where I'm at the moment. I'm not really crunching on anything. I've got Melody Parade costumes that are at the forefront of my to-do list and a commission that I need to finish first. So that's what I've been thinking about. I haven't really been too much thinking about any serious big builds for myself yet,
Right.
which is,
Not yet.
I am putting that off. I'm waiting until we decide what side costumes we want to do in Japan.
Right.
And then I'll focus all of my energy on
Then
those
we'll
to
go
make
for
them
that.
as nice as possible for us.
I
But-
did it again.
You did it again. You left OBS
minimize
open.
OBS.
Oh my
Take a look
God.
at this cute background of Wooloo. Okay, no, we're back. It's fine.
How did you notice that?
Hey?
I didn't even spot that.
I had an inkling in my mind, like, did I minimize it? Let's check. No, I didn't. Okay. Anyway, but no, that's really cool. I think for me, I've got 1 or 2 things I think I'm gonna try.
That you're
and
working
do.
on right now?
Starting,
Okay,
thinking about
okay.
working on it.
Yeah.
Treasure Planet. Did you ever watch that movie?
Yes.
Jim Hawkins.
No way.
That's what I'm doing.
Ah,
Yeah.
cute. With Keely.
I don't think she wants to
Ah,
join.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just
Not
something.
going to be the pirate cat lady? I would do that. Or Pip would do that. She loves that.
Oh, go
Can I
for
be
it.
the blob?
You can be whatever you want to be,
I'll
Maya.
dress up as the,
You can be
in a
whatever you
full
want to be.
green suit and
Yeah.
hold a blobfish and run around
you
following
you do you. I won't say no.
Okay.
So they got that one,
Yeah.
and there's an old series called Chrono Crusade.
You should know. You should put like a fishing wire on your head.
I
and
could.
Have it,
I should.
like,
I just have it on my shoulder.
dangling around.
On my shoulder too, little blob.
Yeah, that would be cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bigger project's
Chrono Crusade.
Chrono Crusade. It's about
Sounds familiar.
yeah, it's about a nun with guns and her
Oh, okay,
her
yeah.
life.
I think we saw a manga copy in the library
it's
the other
pretty
day.
old. It's pretty old.
Yeah.
But yeah, her soul is linked with a demon, so she's sharing a lifeline.
Ooh.
The more his demon powers are used,
Dark.
the shorter her life gets.
Ooh.
So it's pretty cool.
Uh-oh.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, I'm gonna try some prosthetics and stuff for the first time. So
Cool.
Might be nice.
Hell yeah.
But-
Are you cosplaying the nun?
I'd like to, but Keely's doing that one,
Okay.
which is
Cute,
cool.
cute.
So
Adorable.
yeah, what were we talking about again? Photos. That's right. So what we're saying, photos like a vehicle,
I
right?
don't see it that way, but yeah, okay,
Well,
continue.
it helps.
You're
It helps.
We're really good at analogies here.
Well, we're doing our best.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get some bangers out of us.
Okay.
But if anything, so DeviantArt days.
Yes.
Cosplay.com days.
I remember you'd only be able to upload individual images, right?
Individual images. You couldn't
upload a gallery.
a
at
gallery.
once.
Like,
yeah.
you know, Instagram, you got a gallery of 10, you can kind of
Yeah.
swipe one at a time.
Yeah.
But
or you made like a collage.
we made a
right?
collage
Yeah.
of things. It was less common to the collage because there were no smartphones at the time.
Yeah.
No smartphones.
Yeah.
So you had to like go onto your computer, open up the web browser, you know, upload it,
Collage
view
maker.
things. Yeah.
No. Yeah. Okay.
You could. You
And
could.
did you ever use that website, the World Cosplay?
Yes. So
Yeah.
that came out. I didn't like it because the
was hard
uploading
to
system
use.
is clunky.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
very outdated.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they've
unfortunately,
ever improved it, have they?
not really.
No.
I know it's very popular in like Japan for kind of helping share that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I never really. I tried using it for a bit. I was like, this format sucks.
Yeah.
I said, stuff it.
Yeah.
So, but at the time, you can only do one photo at a time. So you have to organize photo shoots for people because phone cameras were terrible. Like they were bad. Like webcam quality photos, worse. They were worse than webcam quality photos. So
Bad.
you had to organize photographs with your photography friends, or you had a good DSLR. You go ahead and do it. So it's still a thing these days. You know, people go to cons with their big DSLRs. They got big backpacks with like camera batteries and
Yeah.
lands and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But because phone cameras have gotten so good,
Yeah.
it's also a viable option these days, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, in terms of let's start with the DSLR photos, like the professional level photographers that you get with like a big camera. What would you say? Would you say that it's much better to get those to upload to Instagram, Twitter, because you're not going to view these 4K photos, which you swipe through. You're not really going to see all of those pixels on a phone screen,
No,
right?
you don't. Yeah.
So
I see it all the time. People complaining about their high quality cosplay photos, Instagram ruining the quality, but
Yep.
it's actually because they get compressed. So you actually do need to export your photos to fit the right pixel size and so that it compresses to the exact right quality.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to smush a huge 4K quality photo or video onto Instagram, it's going to compress it. You need to export your settings for the optimized format that it is going to come out as. So it's frustrating to me that I see people complaining all the time, being like, "Meh, killed the quality." But no, if you
it
look
needs to
at
be done.
yeah, if you look at the like official Instagram pages, they take high quality photographer DSLR photos and post them, and they still look crisp on Instagram.
Yeah.
How do you think they do it? They do it. Like
They just do it.
yeah, they export it to the right size. It works.
YouTube it. You can YouTube it.
Yeah,
If you want to put like crisp photo. Look, to be fair, I don't even go into my Instagram gallery and be like, I'm going to download this photo and submit it to a newspaper. Like,
No.
no. People are going to go to Instagram to swipe through your gallery.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
How many times have you used Instagram on your computer?
A few times when I'm actually that's an interesting point that you bring up. But I use it when I need to like look at 2 accounts at the same time, or if I'm looking for hashtags. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
like if I want to see if I posted something on the podcast page, for example, I'll like put it up on my desktop and then be on it on my phone trying to like find the video to post and stuff and see if I've already posted.
But you're not ever really on Instagram kind of browsing profiles, right?
No,
I don't think.
no.
Occasionally, but no one really does it.
No.
So in that case,
but even then they look like shit on desktop. Yeah.
It's not great, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think the bonus of doing professional photos or DSLR photos, you're not there for the image size or quality, but you are there for other things like the quality of the photos or just the way it looks, the way it's framed, certain colors that you can really only get through a camera lens. So it's still a very good avenue if you want to update your Instagram profile because you get cool photos, right?
Yes and no. Honestly, some of my phone photos have outperformed DSLR photo shoots. So it's really hard to say.
It's hard to say.
And sometimes selfies do better than, like, in terms of like reach, I guess, if that's what you're measuring. But I think it's always more like artistically valuable to do a photo shoot with a photographer.
I think so.
Because I think you're much more likely to create a higher quality art piece. It's like it's you're making art.
Because I think especially
rather than like just a selfie. It's just a selfie.
Well, the thing with selfies and stuff, we take them because they feel personal.
Yeah.
They feel like, oh, hey, look, this is something
Capturing
I'm taking.
a moment.
You're capturing a moment.
Yeah.
And I think especially in the day and age of where people want genuine people, they want to feel connected with someone. They don't want to just see a celebrity in a magazine. They don't just want to see like, I don't know, cool pics of what Brad Pitt's been up to in his latest movie. They want to see, oh yeah, this is me, Brad Pitt, with my dog, eating dinner. Like, how's your day going, guys?
Being a real human.
You're being a real human, yeah.
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff that I think a lot of people
I
like
think
seeing.
On a cosplay level, like, it's fun for me to see the behind the scenes. Like, if a cosplayer is doing a photo shoot and they take a selfie on set, it's like always cool to see like that realness behind the scenes, like actual real footage happening, like the not perfect, pretty polished final images that you see. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. So in that case, I think getting professional photos still a great idea, but I think it's becoming less. I say less needed, but less the standard. I don't think it's as needed as the standard anymore,
as
which
it
is
used
good.
to be,
As it used to be. But just on that matter, I still think that it's a good thing to organise and a good thing to go, be artistic.
It's hard to say. Are you talking about cosplay, like DSLR photo shoots at a convention or outside of a convention?
Look, let's start.
They're two very different.
They're two different things. Well,
results.
let's start with at a convention, right? Because at a convention, you're limited with the backdrops that you can get, right? There's
settings.
Really not much you can do with it.
Yeah, unless you go to Katsucon and you have the
the love hearts.
No, that's at AX.
Oh, AX, sorry, got the wrong one.
Katsucon has the pagoda. Pagoda.
Pagoda, that's good.
Is that what it's
good
called?
Good job. Yep, pagoda.
With the fancy it's a hut.
Yeah, it's a pagoda.
Yep, it's like an iconic thing.
Another iconic thing.
I don't know if it's called a pagoda.
What's the iconic thing about the Brisbane Convention Centre? The vents. And
hands down
the hole.
The vents.
And the hole. That little circular hole across the road at the TAFE.
I've never been there.
I just learnt where it was recently.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The secret hole.
Secret hole, which everyone kind of sits in.
They do.
Anyway. But we've got the vents.
And the hole.
And the hole.
It sounds so weird. But I've pretty much stopped posting convention photos from photographers DSLR.
It's not that bad, but it's just the same kind of thing that you kind of get each time, right?
I don't get the same enjoyment out of going and doing a photo shoot.
Kind of a photo shoot.
Yeah, on location. Yeah.
So, actually, this is a good thing we should discuss. It's first of all, because I think people would just straight up like to get photos of their costume.
Yeah.
I think that's the bare minimum. We'd hey, I've got unshot costumes. I'd like to get photos. Because planning a photo shoot on location takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
Takes a bit of effort. You've got to get to know people. So, for someone wanting to get good photos, professional photos, from a photographer, and you're new to the scene, What are some options? What's the best way about going about it?
Be prepared to pay for it because it's not free.
Not a free service. Don't expect to find a photographer like, hey, can you take some photos, edit them for me, and send them. No, it's not a free service, buddy.
And you're paying for like years of their skill as well and practice in the industry. So it's not free. If it is free, it's never really free. There's always a catch.
There's always a catch.
I've learnt that working with photographers in the past, that if they're doing stuff for free, they will expect things in return. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. So the best way to go about it is to pay someone. But honestly, like if you don't have the budget, I would say set it up yourself at home. And just take phone photos. Set up some lighting. Invest in a ring light. Invest in some lighting. Like, it's very affordable these days. So the Kmart has pumped out the little set of like
Kmart
influencer
is
ring light,
popping off right
like
now.
RGB, heart shaped, whatever you want. They've got it, and it's like under $50. Like, it's super
It's
budget
great.
because
It's
that
great.
will cost you. Investing in that equipment, that lighting equipment, basic tripod will cost way less than one photo shoot with a photographer will. So, like, if you buy the equipment to do it at home, you then have the freedom to, like, take photos whenever you want. You can practice posing whenever you want. You can practice lighting setups. And then when you actually can afford a photographer, you'll be more prepared and make the most of that opportunity to work with someone else. You might also be, like, a little less scared. Because I feel like when I was first doing shoots with, like, organizing shoots,
That's a good point.
It was so scary.
That's a good point.
Because, like, you think, oh, doing a photo shoot, you have to be a model. You have to be really pretty. You have to be perfect. And, like, of course, like, if you have a bad experience, you then, like, feel bad about yourself, but, like, it's really about finding the right person and finding the right angles and practicing and knowing yourself, and, yeah, it all just takes practice.
Takes practice and time.
Yeah.
I think we'll get into, like, how to do that whole selfie setup and stuff later, because I think talking about that's going to be
Super
really
valuable.
very valuable.
Yeah.
But obviously our first kind of go-to thing is like, oh, I hope I can find someone with a nice camera who'll take photos for me. If you decide to... find someone and just do the payments.
Yeah.
Some are nice about it.
Do you think that, like, going to a convention and talking to phatographers at the convention is a good way to meet them and then
I think it's
be
a good
able
way
to organize a photo shoot
Yeah,
outside of the con?
because I think I haven't like gone to a con and just met a photographer and said, hey, let's do a shoot. Honestly, I've kind of met friends who maybe are friends with someone who takes photos, or I met them through a university circle, and we happened to like taking photos, and like, hey, I do cosplays. Do you want to take some photos sometime?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool.
No, I definitely met people through cons.
Yeah.
Like, photographers just at a con.
But I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing, and I really, really encourage this, is when you go to conventions to meet people, especially photographers, don't go in with the mindset of going, I want to meet this person because they're a photographer,
Don't use them.
and maybe I can get photos from them. Like, that's very manipulative and very like, I want to use them for something, because if anything, go to a con, make friends because you want to make friends, and that's it. If they happen to be a photographer and they take photos, cool. If not, then cool. It doesn't really matter. I just, who do you shoot with these days?
Only Terry, only P Club Pics 666. I don't know why he has that handle, but I'll ask him. But no, Terry.
Yeah.
He's the only photographer I feel comfortable shooting with now. Just because I've had some negative experiences in the past with other photographers where they've made me feel uncomfortable and I haven't been satisfied with the way they make me look in the photos.
Yeah, right.
Terry's someone who I trust, who I pay, who I know always get good results. He's so fast, he's so professional, he knows lots of good locations, and he's open for work a lot of the time.
That's good.
Yeah, he's easy to just hit up. He's a close friend of mine, obviously, like...
That works.
Yeah.
That's great.
That works. He's the only photographer I like to shoot with.
Shoot with these days.
Yeah.
I've got my mate Jono. He's John Zoom Photography.
I do like John as well.
We're just good mates. Like, I think that's all it is. I don't think I'm too fussed with... Turnaround of photos is a big thing, because you could be waiting months for photos.
Especially for me, like with my Patreon, I need that.
You've got
within a
stuff.
certain
You need that
time frame.
turnaround.
Yeah.
I think with John, he's got his own life. I'm not really too fussed, because if I get photos, I upload them in due time. Cool, whatever. I know some people have got an Instagram they like to do regularly, so... but I just like hanging out with Jono. He's a good mate. John, if you're listening, I love you, man. But to me, I think that's been number one, is how well I get along with the photographer.
That's as well for Terry. I can talk to Terry for hours.
Yeah, it's great.
And he's like, no matter what topic.
Then number two for me
Yeah.
is quality of the photos.
Huh?
Number 2 is the quality of the
Oh, the
photos.
quality. Okay.
Quality, yeah.
So how you like,
How well you actually like the
Yeah.
photos. Like, there's been photos I've gotten on, like, a house on file, I've gotten on great, but they just don't have an eye for photography. And no, that's fine, not everyone else. Just
happens a lot.
It happens.
Happens a lot.
So you'll kind of figure out, and if you've got the patience to kind of work with them as they improve as a photographer,
Yeah.
go for it.
Yeah.
But you know, there's been some I've done a shoot and they haven't really improved. So it's like, oh, that's cool. Like, we'll be mates, we'll hang out, but I just probably won't do a shoot with you.
Yeah, I feel the same about some people.
And the same way, I've done shoots with people who their photography work is great,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't get along with them. Or it's funny actually you say that, because you said you've had unfortunately bad experiences with some.
Yeah.
My worst experiences have just been people who just don't want to shoot with me because I'm a dude.
Yeah.
Just straight up, they'd rather
Yeah.
shoot pretty girls.
Yeah.
And red flag.
It is a
Red flag. If they just want to shoot just girls, red flag.
Red
Actually, what's
flag.
some ones that you've probably unfortunately had that experience of just kind of running into people like that. What are some things that you've kind of observed that is something to look out for? Because that's really the only thing I've seen is just it's like, oh, you know, good friends with somebody who's, you know, in a group, but, you know, they'll take photos with me and the person because they feel obliged to, but then they'll just take photos of, you know, the girl that I'm
Yeah.
paired with, right?
Oh gosh, that's so bad.
Yeah, I'm like, I see what's going on here. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to expect to get photos from this dude or anything like that.
Are we talking red flags?
Yeah, red flags.
Red flags to me is when you're doing a shoot with a photographer and then another one comes in and like just starts taking over and like
I hate
interrupts
that.
the shoot. That's a massive red flag that you just have no like kind of respect for what the heck's going on. And you
Yeah.
can't read a social situation maybe for, you know, wait your turn.
Yeah.
Have a little patience. Don't interrupt. Don't just like without saying anything as well. Like I see it happen all the time. I'm pretty sure every meet that I go to it happens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, which is really disappointing, but unfortunately some people just don't understand social cues, but yeah, it happens.
If you're a photographer watching this,
Yeah.
and if you see someone doing a shoot, it's just one photographer and maybe one, maybe two, maybe three
no matter
people.
how many cosplayers.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many are, but if it's like just the one photographer and they look like they're in an isolated space,
Yeah,
right? They're obviously
yeah.
doing a shoot. Don't just take photos. Don't just
No.
take photos.
No.
At best,
Yeah.
what you can do is either wait till they're finished
Yeah.
and then ask the cosplayers after that. It's like, hey, look, I'd also like to take some photos of you.
Yeah.
Would you like to do that? If not, that's fine. Because taking...
Yeah, even if you ask mid-shoot, they can just feel obliged
Obliged
to
to
say
say
yes,
yes.
and then it makes it really awkward and tense.
does.
Like, yeah, between the two.
Let
I've seen that happen.
one photographer at a time.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
That's an analogy I keep. Too many cooks in the
Too
kitchen.
many cooks in the kitchen.
It's not going to improve the meal.
No. Another red flag for me is like in terms of quality, as soon as a photographer pulls out some kind of flash lighting or
Oh,
like
boy. Oh, boy.
uses flash on their camera, you just know it's not going to turn out
not
well.
gonna turn
Because
great.
Cosplay wigs are so shiny. As soon as you like flash them with that aggressive like
That's going to be super
flashlight,
bright. You're going to be
Yeah.
super dark.
Yeah, you're going to be so shiny and it's just going to look horrible. It won't look good.
I mean, you know, have that experience.
Yeah.
You're going to meet photographers who you'll do a shoot with,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll be like, oh, that's a flash. Maya said that was a red flag. I mean, you'll get the photos back, and you'll kind of see what I mean. If you're kind of
Yeah.
new to taking photos and stuff, you'll see what I mean. Which is why night photography is so tricky.
Oh, it's so hard.
So tricky.
Don't do night photography. Like, don't do a night shoot.
Night shoots are very tricky to get
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I said do it, like have that experience, but
Maybe.
I mean,
Be prepared for it to be difficult.
Be
and
prepared.
Probably not turn out how you think it
it's
will.
yeah, like, you know, dramatic lighting shots. It's really
You
cool
need
to
a
see.
high quality camera. You need to understand how the camera works.
You're gonna need
really
lighting
well.
equipment.
Yeah,
You actually
all
need lighting equipment,
Yeah.
not just ring lights and stuff, but
Yeah.
you need the good stuff.
Or you just need to understand how the apertures work, how the ISOs work.
You have
be
to know
able
what aperture and
shoot-
ISO even means.
Exactly. You have to be able to shoot in low lighting, which is, it's possible, but you just really need to know what you're doing.
Also, a big camera does not necessarily mean they're a good photographer.
Yes, absolutely.
Size of the camera
No, does not
does
equate.
not equate to how
The
good as a
amount of gear a photographer has does not equate. Terry has one point and shoot little camera, and he has like two lenses that he swaps out between.
That's
and you-
one more lens than me.
Well, yeah, but it's so simple, so simple. Same with like Light Prawns. Do you know Light Prawns? Some Sydney photographer.
Sydney.
Also takes really nice photos,
Cool.
and he's got the tiniest little camera, and he just
Knows how to
knows
use
what
it.
he's doing. Yep, portable, nice and easy, not too heavy. I see photographers that lug around like they have like straps and they have like
straps and like
bullet gear
and like camera battery strapped across like a strap. It's cool. Don't get me wrong.
It's intimidating though.
It is a little bit.
If you're like, oh, how many photos is he gonna want to take? Like, oh my god, I don't know. I feel like the more gear does not equal the better photographer.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
but
or the more expensive. Like, it doesn't matter.
It is a matter of just kind of getting to know people, and you know, it is unfortunately one of those things which you'll never really know. They might have a reputation. It might be good, might be bad. You don't know. You have to find out for yourself. Okay. Terry's great though.
Yeah.
Terry, P Clubs Pics 666, or John Sung Photography.
Yeah.
Check them both out on Instagram, everybody.
Yeah. Our top favorites.
Our top faves. But yeah, like you, obviously there's more photographers around. There's new ones coming in.
Yeah.
I've shot with photographers who don't really do photos anymore. So it's kind of nice just to get to know new people. Okay, so we've got some of our fave photographers, but planning actual photo shoots, I think they're fun.
Yes.
They're really fun because apart from just shooting at a convention setting, it's just the fridge.
Yes. Apart from shooting in a convention setting.
Apart from shooting at a convention setting.
The world is big.
The world's big.
And full of
cool places.
Trees and things.
You can go to a forest.
Rocks.
And rocks. Rocks by the beach.
And
cities.
Skies.
What's the weirdest place you've done a photo shoot?
Oh, I would say... I have to think about this. Probably... I did like a photo shoot in the valley that was like in a corner near the train station. It felt very dodgy.
Cool.
Felt very scary.
Nice.
But it was worth it. The photos turned out really well.
Cool.
So, for Togo Himiko. It was like a
right, yeah,
shoot.
yeah.
We got like a bunch of tape and we like taped it along the fences and nobody like came up to us. So
that's awesome.
So that's probably the weirdest place, I think.
That's pretty cool.
I think.
You know, Brisbane bus stations.
Yes.
How there's like lots of steel and glass and stuff. I've done a shoot on one of those, just like at a bus station. And twice I've shot in a car park.
Nice.
In the middle of the night, and the cops drove by, and they were like, I was dressed in a Luigi's costume.
Waluigi?
No, Waluigi, just Luigi. You know Luigi's Mansion?
Yes.
Yeah, I was doing one of those little video.
I don't think I've seen that.
No, I'll show you.
That's hilarious.
It's I'll put a link to it. I've got a Luigi's Mansion video
funny.
I made.
Oh my gosh.
Once upon a time, and
we
the cops.
We could go as Mario and Luigi.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd do it. But yeah, the cops drove by and they're like, "Hey, Luigi, what's up?" I'm like, "Oh, we're just doing a video."
That's so funny.
And they're like, good, doing good on you.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I did a Resident Evil shoot once at night time, in a weird car park. So
car park, yeah.
Night lighting, the probably the one shoot I've done at night, which was awesome. So really happy about that.
Hell yeah.
But planning a photo shoot.
I say slide into the DMs.
Slide in, or get to know photographers. Like actually talk to people, and if you like, and you've worked with them before, I think convention's a good place to kind of get to know people. Yeah. You're going to work them in a public setting.
It is a networking opportunity.
It's a network opportunity.
Networking.
Networking.
It is a networking opportunity. It's not a convention like.
That's what it is.
Definition.
It's just a big kind of social gathering.
Meeting space. Yeah, absolutely. Where you can also test their artistic values. Like maybe they align with like your darker, more edgy style, or if you want that cute, glossy, shiny, idly style. It depends. You can kind of suss out what people like shooting what. Because there are some people only like shooting pretty, sexy girls, and other people will shoot anyone, and it doesn't matter. And that's the way it should be. People shouldn't have preference over who they shoot. Like. Some people do, but anyway.
But yeah. Oh, and actually another thing I remember about photographers, which I started to like everyone I work with. I'm like, tell me how to pose. If something looks out, pose me like a mannequin.
That is something I like about Terry because he's always like, no, stick your neck out
like
this.
this.
You want the double chin,
and then like move your shoulder this way a bit more.
Literally.
If you're a photographer,
it helps.
Pose us.
Yes.
We can't see what you're looking at, so you got to move us around. We don't mind.
And honestly, if you're stumped for poses though, look at like TikTok and Pinterest. There are so many good like posing guides on TikTok and Pinterest. It's insane.
And if you're a dude, check out my posing guide right here.
Oh, hell yeah.
I made another one.
Okay, you're just plugging all
I'm
your
just
YouTube
plugging my
videos
YouTube.
today.
Check out my YouTube, everybody.
Wow. Okay,
if you think about it, I've done it.
Shameless self-promotion.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
Get it, honestly. No, okay, but I think if you don't get the opportunity to meet photographers in person, I think that sending them a message on whatever platform they use, like Instagram, is totally fine.
I think so too.
To try and organize a full shoot, because I think that's how T and Terry met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They just connected online and organized a photo shoot.
And here
the rest
they are.
Is history. But
That's cute.
No, you can easily just ask people like, oh, would you be interested in doing a photo shoot? Don't assume that the photographer is going to want to shoot you straight away.
Yeah.
You definitely have to try and organize. I've had so many Actually, yeah, this is making me remember, like,
Here we go.
photographers that I've tried to organize shoots with, and being like, hey, would you like to do Love Live? And like, sorry, I don't do Love Live.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes.
Shows what kind of people they are.
Well, pretty much. I don't know. They all think it's all the same. It's fine.
Listen, buddy.
Whatever. Pretty much. Terry doesn't discriminate. He's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as it should be.
I know.
It's like, you love it? Okay, cool. Let's take some photos.
Exactly.
But
I think messaging them is fine. And
messaging
being like,
is
would
good.
you be interested in shooting this cosplay? Would you be free this weekend? Easy. Or usually asking, I think, 2 to 3 weeks notice.
Giving some notice is good.
Yeah, is good. So you can.
It's like,
plan
oh,
it.
hey, what's your
Usually,
schedule like?
I like to come to Terry with a cosplay, a location, and a day.
Yeah.
Those 3 things essential to organizing a shoot. Because otherwise, like, you can't expect the photographer to come up with those things for you. You need to give them this, and then they'll come.
Okay, look, you can't just be like, okay, if I just stand there, the photographer is going to be a magician and make me beautiful.
Exactly.
Listen, you've got some stuff to figure out. Like, where are you going to shoot? What's your location? Do they have it figured out? Maybe.
Can they get there? Can you get there?
Can they get there?
How do you get there?
How are you going to get there?
Yeah.
What's the timing like? Do you have to pay to get in?
Yeah.
Where are you going to
to
park?
pay for parking.
Parking's a big one.
Parking messes me up all the time. We did a shoot for Melody Parade down by the docks near Felons.
Yeah.
And on a weekday, it was impossible to find parking. It was so hard.
Hard
like,
or very expensive weekday, right?
Yeah, expensive. Yeah.
Terrible.
Yep. And like only like 2-hour spots by the street, so we had to move like every 2 hours.
Yeah.
So bad. Yeah. So like, plan ahead.
Plan ahead.
Public transport, but also public transport isn't that safe if you're in costume.
Oh man.
So
I would suggest cars. If you're gonna go off
I think
convention,
so too.
go.
Or if you can get someone to go with you or drop you off, or if there's like my go-to is always like shopping center parking lots.
That's not a bad one.
I swear they usually have like all day
parking
a lot of the time.
somewhere.
A lot of the smaller suburb ones do. Yeah.
Convention. Oh wait, no, not convention. Photo shoot. Another thing that is invaluable to found is a helper.
Yes, absolutely.
Just someone. They don't have to be in costume, but someone who's just there for the fun. They just want to hang out, have a good time,
Helps so
enjoy the
much,
vibes.
yeah.
Because it might be someone's like, hey, can you fix my wig? I've got gloves on. Or hey, like this part of my costume, I love it. You need to flick a cape. They can flick the cape for you in midair, so it's like whoosh.
Hell yeah.
And it looks great.
Hell yeah.
Right? Or maybe the photographer might just for some reason need a reflector. The reflectors are great.
Yeah.
Hold the reflector,
Definitely.
put some light on you. Because I found sometimes if you do have like a big armor set in particular, you try to
make it
shoot
look
that.
nice and shiny.
The photographer's there to press the button on their
Yeah.
camera. They can't do the rest of it. Okay? So having a assistant is very helpful.
Another thing they can do is like capture behind the scenes content, which if you are a content creator is extremely useful
helpful.
to have like lots of just footage of you doing things and posing, and like it's so useful to be able to use in your content. Very flexible.
Yeah.
Just creating more like behind the scenes
scenes.
Yeah. Which as well as like a lot of people use for their Patreons and other things. So it's very valuable to have someone there. Yeah. To help drive you there, look after you, make content for you.
Yeah, if they're just there for
Pay
the
them if
vibes,
you can.
pay them. I like
Something I do with Terry as well is I often shout him meal or like food and like for the shoot, because it just like it's a nice post shoot thing to do, especially if you get along with your photographer. It's nice to take them out for lunch afterwards, have a meal, have a drink,
have a lunch.
Yeah, just chill, enjoy yourselves, enjoy.
I get on the beers with Jono. That's what we do.
Do you?
Yeah, I still probably on another one, but Wick's like he's got to drive. It's like all right, we'll get on the beers again.
I think I owe John a dinner or two.
See,
as well. Yeah.
See,
yeah.
He just rakes in. He hasn't had to pay for a meal at a convention since '92. I don't know if he's been alive that long, but here we are.
I think so. Wait, what?
Anyway,
oh my gosh.
So yeah, photo shoots. So you can't
Worth
just expect your photographer to have all the answers. The more research, the more planning you do, that will make their life easier.
Yeah.
Will make you a more pleasant person to shoot
Literally as well. You want to become, okay, you have your cosplay, you have your location, you have your day. You also then want to think of poses and any props you want to bring with you. Props
poses.
are like a godsend when you don't know what poses to do, because you can just play with whatever prop that is. And when I say prop, it doesn't necessarily mean like weapon or like anything like that. I mean like, are you going to have food? Are you going to have a drink? Are you going to have like a ball? Are you going to have an activity to do? Because having an activity to do in a shoot makes it so much easier to then you're telling a story about the character.
Yeah.
You have an activity to do. It's much easier than just standing there and being like,
Pick sign. Please don't do this. I will come to your oh god. Oh man.
The most fun photo shoots I've had is when we have like an activity to do, when we have like something to play with, when we have something to interact with, because you then can see the progression. There's a story to be told in the photos. It's much more exciting.
It's exciting that way.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Write this down, everyone. This is good content.
5 things. 5 essential photo shoot things.
Okay, now we're kind of getting to the point now where we've talked about, professional photos and meeting, how to network with them, how to slide in their DMs, best things to think about when setting up a photo shoot, things you prepare for.
Another thing, when I was first beginning, though, with approaching photographers, is I would think, I would find a normie photographer, and I would approach them to do cosplay photography, and 9 times out of 10 that never worked.
Right.
I feel like it's always better to pursue someone who's already a cosplay photographer.
Right.
Because if you try to explain cosplay to normie photographers, they get very, confused and weirded out. They might not understand the culture. They might not understand what they're being asked to do. And honestly, I don't think it's... And they charge a lot more.
That's true.
I find that normie photographers do a lot of more weddings and special events.
Yeah,
and,
right.
Fancy photos, not illegitimizing cosplay photographers, but genuinely the mainstream photographers charge a lot. But they're doing editorial content for magazines, they're getting paid tons. I think I've seen you see wedding photographers go for $2,000
thousands
minimum.
of dollars, thousands of dollars,
whereas the cosplay photographers are much more reasonably priced, in my opinion.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think just having the culture already known to them is the biggest thing that helps. You don't have to explain or have those weird kind of...
No. And it's something they're interested in. So you're offering a trade of value. So you're bringing them a cool cosplay that they get to shoot, and then they're bringing you all their skill and photography work.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just bring a mainstream photography or costume, they're going to be like, okay, pose, I guess.
Well,
they're not getting as much out of it. It's not a transfer equivalent exchange of value.
I think the biggest thing that I like about it is, payment is good.
Yeah.
I think just the mutual exchange of values is the biggest thing. But being able to really kind of hang out and enjoy the company, that's to me the biggest thing. Because university, I met a good mate of mine who I used to shoot with. He doesn't do it anymore, but it would just be like, hey, you want to hang out today? What are we doing? It's like, oh, let's go location scouting. So we just... Yeah. I've shot Code Geass about 7 times. It was like, I had it in my car. It's like, oh, you want to take some photos here? It's like, all right, cool. So, yeah, there was to be a rundown windmill once upon a time. And we go, a ruined building. It's like, hey, this is cool. I've got my camera on me. It's like, I've got my jacket in the car. So that's all it was.
Hell yeah. Cute.
But it should be something fun. Fun activity to hang out. It shouldn't be like, oh, I'm getting all nervous. It shouldn't feel like work. It shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be fun.
Shouldn't make you feel uncomfortable as well, about your body or anything like that, about how you look.
If you are...
Because it's quite confronting.
It can be.
Yeah.
It can be. And if you are kind of shooting with photography you haven't really shot with much or before, bring a friend. Bring a friend in.
Definitely.
To be your helper.
Absolutely.
Biggest thing. If they say, private shoot, no friends, don't do it.
Never. And
biggest
especially
red flag.
if it's a private location as well. No. Never do that. Absolutely never do that. I've heard horror stories of girls being convinced to take all their clothes off it happens. I remember the early days of when I used to go to Supernovas and I didn't really know what I was doing. I'm pretty sure I was in that Shin-On cosplay from Sword Art Online.
Right.
I remember there being an old photographer guy who had the creepiest photography card, and it had lots of boudoir ladies on it. I was literally 16.
16?
I was 16. I was like, what?
I'm just here to have fun.
Yeah. And he was trying to be like, oh, let's do a photo shoot sometime. You're so beautiful. I'd love to take photos of you.
Buddy.
Yeah, I've had weird interactions with photographers. I think the difference, unfortunately, in gender is huge.
Yeah, they don't like us boys.
Be very careful who you spend time with alone.
Bring a friend. Bring a friend. That's the best thing that you can do.
Or meet in public.
Meet in public.
But somewhere very public.
Bring a friend.
Yeah, bring a friend everywhere. Yeah.
Anyway, so... This part of kind of comes to the last part of today's podcast. Let's talk about if you don't want to do the pro photography, if you don't want to be bothered, organising all that kind of stuff, you want to do some stuff by yourself. We want to have a home studio. Also a great thing because some traveling out to a forest, traveling out to rocks.
It's a lot.
You might not even need that.
Yeah, if you don't want to leave the house, and that's fine.
So. We're going to give you some little tips about how to make your own little home studio.
Oh, yeah.
Even take some selfies. Selfies at a con.
Yeah.
Great way to meet people. Make sure you take them well, and we're going to show you how.
Okay.
We're going to show you how. So, number 1, Maya, if you want to take a selfie.
Step 1, own a phone.
Good.
Step 2, you can either use the main camera of your device, which will give you the highest quality possible image from just your base iPhone camera, which is this one here. Major thing that people don't usually do is just wipe off the top of your camera because phones get
Now you get
They
dirty.
get grotty. They get
You
grotty.
have to
So just wipe it off in your sleeve. Make sure it's nice and
Cool.
clear before you start. 'Cause
What's-
that way
Yeah?
you're gonna get a nice clear photo.
What's next?
Next, make sure the camera is on selfie mode. The amount of times where people pull out the camera and it's facing that way is very awkward. And you can do these things before you even approach the person you want to take a selfie with. I often do this. I get my phone up ready to go, and then it's just a, would you like to take a selfie
You're
with me?
more
And then
prepared
you
than
whip it
me.
up. Yeah.
You're more prepared than
Yeah.
me because I'll be like, oh, hang on, let me get out this.
But that's
Oh,
awkward. And then there's like prolonged
awkward.
time where you're not making eye contact and you're like staring at your phone,
Well-
and then it doesn't load and it's extremely anxiety inducing.
You can just talk to them, get to know them well. Be like, hey, you know, you seem cool. Like, I don't think that you're gonna make me feel embarrassed if I pull out my phone and it's not in selfie mode.
I've seen it. I've seen them freak out and they're like, it's not loading. I'm like, it's fine. You're good. You're
Okay,
good.
so you make them feel welcome. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, we got the front camera
Yep.
up. And okay, then angles are important.
Angles are very
But
important.
I think angles and lighting are as equally important as each other.
Okay, let's start
So,
with lighting. Really quick.
Always face the light source.
Face the light
So
source.
wherever's brightest, stare into it. If that means staring into the sun, it'll be worth it for the photo. No, you don't stand in direct sunlight.
Okay,
back
look,
it up a little bit.
Quick examples. Take a selfie of us.
Yeah.
Actually, and what's the angles? Go angles real quick.
Angles, I like at least eye level
Yep.
with your phone, if not a little bit higher.
A little bit higher is good.
Depends, though.
Never go below.
Never go below eye level. I feel like if you're below your chin, it's too low.
It's gonna look odd.
eye level.
Eye level.
Eye level.
Eye level.
Is
Look at it.
good.
Yeah.
Is good.
That's the one you want to do.
It is. But
It's good.
it is.
That's the tip. So, all right, quick example.
Yeah.
Let's take a good selfie,
A good
right?
selfie. Let me just I have my exposure settings messed with because I do
That's
that.
okay.
Okay.
So, good selfie.
Do you see what I just did with my face? I changed the angle. So rather than just being like straight on,
you
can
turn it
also-
to the side. You
I
can
like
put
to-
your head down a little bit.
you can tilt it so that
Yeah.
you get a bit of jawline coming out. Find your angle. Once you have like your lighting and your phone set, then see which angle you like your face at. If you like the like scene queen style with the forehead tilting up. But it's also like, okay, if you're cosplaying like a cute character,
Yeah.
you should tilt your forehead up and like try and like tilt the phone up as well. Whereas if you're cosplaying a much cooler character, you can get away with those lower angles because you're showing off your jawline.
That's
You're
true.
looking cool. You're looking pros. You know what I mean? Like you can show off.
Show off some jawline.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
true.
It's a power. It's the hero angle.
Right.
That's from film. Is like when you're shot from above, that like iconic superhero pose. It's always shot from below, making them look really big and powerful.
Well, no, I don't have a jawline. I've told you this before, right?
With lighting, you might.
Okay.
If you stick out, we'll do it as a challenge. We'll try and get your jawline.
Okay. We'll try it again.
Contour, lighting,
Right.
angle. We'll do it.
Now, if we did a bad selfie,
Yes.
for example, low angle
Yeah.
away from the light.
Yeah.
Let's take another selfie.
Oh my God,
I'll put this
okay.
in. I'll put this in, right?
You will.
Yeah. So like, there's no light coming from behind us. So we're gonna go from behind us,
Wait.
looking straight on low angle. It doesn't matter how good you look in a camera. This will not make you look good.
Yeah.
There's
It's interesting.
It's a world of difference.
It sure do be interesting.
Oh, excuse me. So, examples right here. Look, see, unedited. Well, not edit them.
Not edited.
Not edit.
Not
This
edited.
is camera app
Yes,
only.
camera app only. And then if you like, this is something I do at conventions as well, is I use like an app that has filters. So I like to use Snow because
I
that like just pre-applies like a nice little pastel filter to
It's
all
good.
the photos, which just brings out all your colors nicer.
Colours. It's a little bit bright. It brightens it up a little bit
It
too.
does. It does. I like prefer it because that means I don't have to go in and edit every single selfie that I take with everyone. Where I can just throw it up on my story. But those apps also do have like face altering things that if you want to mess with,
If you want to, you can. It's not really necessary. Just the basic filter it puts on typically makes it look nicer. So Snow is a good one. I like to use one called B612.
Yeah.
It does this pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And you can edit them, you can crop them, you can make your face
You can
like
add a
like a
border,
V
yeah,
or
like-
like a square.
If you ever wonder where like people get those like cute face stickers from, like I used to wonder all the time when I was like a newbie.
Yeah.
Is like, how are these people getting these cute ass like little cat ears and stuff? It's like through Snow. So Snow
Snow.
has like cute filters like that, which can also be fun to like take selfies at cons with. I
Yeah.
went through a phase where I was like filters for everything.
It's good.
But I think that I would recommend you not apply face filters if you are taking selfies with other people who you don't know. I think it's very rude. if somebody else is taking a selfie with me and they have like a massive face filtering effect on.
Or your eyes look like super big.
That's what I mean.
Super
When
big
they've
ones.
like altered the chin to be like super tiny and your face super tiny and your eyes really big, it's quite uncomfortable to be approached and just taken a photo like that.
If you want to do it for yourself, that's fine.
Yeah,
But I think when taking
Other
pictures,
people.
I'll just
be respectful.
Be respectful. You don't need it.
No.
Now-
But yeah, selfie 101.
Selfie 101. Now, lighting equipment. If you want to do like, I don't know, stuff at home.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff at home. Do you have like
I have a
lighting for yourself?
hack. I have a hack. Okay, when it comes to like
Here we
home
go.
studio, right?
Home studio.
So, okay, you need like a blank wall, and you need like lighting. You can either invest in like a ring light. I think the ring lights are the better option these days because they come with like a little phone holder as well in them. You're gonna move it.
Yeah, look, it's gonna ruin the lighting for a second. That's all
will.
good. Okay, so
It's so bright.
this is a ring light. You know what a ring light is? This thing.
Ring light.
Ring light. You get like $25 at Kmart.
Literally.
That's
Or
it.
like the taller ones that come on a tripod, I would recommend because otherwise you have to do what we've done, which is stack it up on a bunch of boxes.
On a boxes. This is a short type. This is my tripod, by the
You
way.
want the easiest setup possible so that you don't have as much barriers into setting up. You want this to be a smooth process for you. You don't want it to get discouraged. The more like things you have to set up, the more likely you're going to get discouraged from taking photos. So if you can invest in something like that has a really decent tripod, it's going to be worth it because you're just going to be like, bum, it's set up, ready to go. No, my hack is...
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a basic wall at home. You don't really have control a lot of the time over what color that wall is.
Yeah.
What you can do is buy wrapping paper. Like
you cover your wall in wrapping paper.
yes.
That's cool.
So because it comes in like sheet rolls, you can buy whatever color, basic colors or patterns you want.
Yep.
If you want to do something like a Victorian style, like let's say Black Butler, you can guarantee you can find like a cool black print with like gold wrapping
Yeah,
paper and just
right.
throw that on the wall and like just take selfies or home photos and it's gonna look amazing. Especially when you add, if you are able to invest in like an RGB light, like the ones we've got behind us, set it lighting up over there. If you put those on the wall, maybe one on each side in different colors, super easy to make a really vibrant, cool, exciting photo, and like you'll get the vibe and the energy from the colors.
Even better than these RGB sticks. I'm going to pull this one over here.
Okay.
This one. We're going to ruin the lighting again for
You
another
are.
second. So,
It's so bright, this one.
this one's a bright boy. So,
It's like a beam. Oh god.
Oh, God.
What have you done?
this is a beam
It's a Halloween
stick?
episode.
This is a beam stick?
Yeah, and you can
right?
see how much difference it's making to
See,
the
look,
shot.
I take it
by
off.
moving.
You can't even see it. If we go from underneath, it's terrible, right? But these bad boys, I've got it plugged in because we've been using it for a while. You can even like change the color and stuff.
That's
And,
so cool.
Yeah, it's a
That's so
yellow,
cool. Yeah.
and you can change to red. You can add all sorts of cool effects depending on what you want, right? Oh, it's changing by itself. That's cool. Beams, this one, like you get a really good one on eBay for like 80, 90 bucks.
Yeah,
This is
and
a
it's
cheap
worth
one
it.
for 30 bucks.
Yeah, I guarantee you'll be able to use it for like every
You
single
can use it
cosplay
for
that you do.
everything you do. It will light up your world. Look at that. It's awesome. I want to put it back now.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
So bright.
that's good. It does the job. That's all we needed. And I don't have a tripod for it either, but we're doing our best here.
Invest in quality tripods, honestly.
This is sitting in a tissue box. at the
Don't
moment.
expose us!
Here it is, everybody.
No! Oh my gosh.
God,
Put it
that's-
back.
It's right, it's fine, it's fine. We're making it work.
Oh,
Excellent.
Okay. cool. But yeah, that's my little wallpaper hack because it's also something that's like super affordable. It's literally only like what, $2 a roll.
That's a good
Like
idea,
it's a
honestly.
super cheap and like easy way. It's like you can recycle the paper after you use it, or you can just roll it up and use it another time. Like it's very, very efficient. Or you can keep it and use it for actual gift wrapping when you need it.
It's a good idea.
So it's a very
you
smart
can
thing to
really
do.
use it. I never thought of that actually. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I have to transform my garage into something else before, but we hung up enormous sheets of black material,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously you will always use black material for something, but the amount of material we had to use
You need
is
so
ridiculous.
much. It's actually ridiculous. And it's also super annoying to get that fabric because a lot of the time the width of a fabric is only like what? A meter
and a half?
50. Yeah, if you're lucky, that's like
You have
huge.
to cut it.
And you're gonna
hang it
need
up
so
again.
much. Yeah. And those more expensive like photo shoot cloths can get so expensive.
Yeah.
I remember getting I invested in like a backdrop kit because I wanted to shoot a lot of my commissions with the backdrop, and I bought these like vinyl backdrop things
Cool.
online. They were such a scam.
Really?
They were terrible. They came like creased and folded, and you couldn't iron them because they were like plasticky.
No.
It was so bad.
Do you still use it or you throw it out?
I threw them out.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Another thing I think you could do is use like tablecloths and stuff from op shops. Like really good.
Tablecloths are good. I
you can
like that.
hang them up and like create lots of color. And I think like using like draping curtaining techniques is a really good way to make a home shoot look really fancy.
Yeah.
So like taking like different kinds of textured fabrics, like the one we've got here, and like a more simple one is like creates a nice drape depending on what like character energy you're going for.
You can change to whatever you want.
You can, and like combine it with lighting and like fairy lights, whatever you want, whatever you're going for.
Fairy lights.
You can do a lot at home.
Fairy lights are great.
Yeah,
I love that
they're
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But beam lights, my favorite. Ring lights, probably second. But yeah, I think the way of the future, honestly, phone cameras, because I honestly don't think you don't need to invest in a camera. 4K DS, like even mirrorless cameras, the new thing, right? Mm-hmm. But you don't need a big camera. Just use your phone.
Yeah.
Use the main camera, not the selfie camera.
Yeah.
If you're doing home studios.
Main camera, absolutely. And again, make sure to wipe it off. Make sure it's nice and clean before you do it. And there's also some cool hacks that I've learned with the inbuilt camera system, especially for iPhones, is that when you're doing a self-shoot, yes, you can use the timer function, but honestly, that's kind of annoying to be like, especially if you have the camera a bit far away.
You have to run back,
and it's facing, something that you can do is go into the accessibility settings. I might have to put like a video.
A separate video.
You go into the accessibility settings and go into the voice control. You can actually use that to set up like like take photo button.
So do you just yell whatever you want, or do you have to yell a certain word?
You can customize whatever word you want it to be. So you could say like
twisties.
I would recommend a short word like cut, or like something like very with enunciated words. You can say whatever you want, but you can set it to like take it'll like you can draw whatever you want it to do in that voice command. So if you just hit like where the photo button is, it will take photos. So you can set it there and yell at it, and it will take photos for you. It's great. Same with videos. So you can like have a start and a stop button.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it especially works if you're making content and you're trying to make like a tutorial, and you can either have the thing sitting there for like an hour doing your makeup maybe, or you could do a little bit, stop, do the rest of it, and that way you save on space and time. Yeah, hands free.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, really cool trick.
The things you learn from watching TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, everybody.
Yeah,
TikTok. That's the way we learn.
It is.
Beautiful.
But yeah, cool. There's lots of possibilities. Just don't limit yourself to thinking that you can't create at home, because you definitely can. Especially if there's another pandemic or something, there are lots of cool things. Another cool thing I saw T do the other day is using her TV. So if you have a really big TV, did you see what she did?
No.
So she put up like lots of flames and cool things, free to use things on YouTube, and then filmed right in front of it, and it made it look like she was in the flames. So if you want like a moving background or something like
that's
that,
a good idea.
Really clever way.
That's really clever.
It's free as well, so it's like quite resourceful to do that and use that as a background, especially if you're making just content.
Yeah,
I
right.
think if you're taking selfies, it'll work just fine, but maybe not. I'm not sure. You need a very big TV to do like full scale kind of costume photos, but definitely portraitures, you could do them in front of the TV.
I think I like portraitures most. It's easy. You don't really need a big backdrop. You just blur the background slightly.
It's easier to do. Yeah.
Easy.
A little vignette, whatever you want. Yeah.
Vignette, that's the word I was looking for. It's like, I don't want to say it.
Yeah. No. Speaking of vignettes, I would say always edit your photos. Always edit your photos. Always color grade them.
You might be like,
the most simple thing.
I just want to have like the natural thing. Like, no. Like you put just basic. You don't have to change your face shape or anything like that. But the color grading, the lighting, the removing this stray leaf on your shoe.
I would say learning how to use Photoshop is a major, really good tool to have. I've known how to use Photoshop for years now, and Lightroom as well is a really clever tool to be able to do. But if you are intimidated by those, you can even just use your inbuilt iPhone editing,
phone editing system.
Or Snow has a really good editing system that I use for most of my photos, where you can actually play with individual colors. So I don't think people know this, but you can take a certain color and either boost it or take it completely out of the photo. Yes. I can show you how to do it afterwards. But so if you don't want any yellow in your photo, which a lot of the time it looks great, if you take a little bit of yellow out, and it makes all of the nice grays become a lot more cool tone and neutral. Or if you really want lots of red, you can boost the red, boost the orange.
What am I wasting my time in Photoshop for?
I don't know, but it's really a shame, I think, a lot of the time, because there are I think you could call it genres or of styles of visuals where you can kind of create whatever fantasy, romancy, you know, like
Yeah, right.
vibe you're going through editing, through color grading. Color grading is such an amazing
Color grading is
tool,
good.
and it's a great thing to learn what's possible.
I think just a little bit, like too much is
Absolutely.
too much.
Is too much, and you don't sharpen photos, don't add too much contrast. It will ruin it.
Just
less is more.
Less is more.
Less
Just a
is
little
more.
bit. Just a
Less is
little
a
bit.
tiny bit.
For,
Look
okay,
at tutorials.
I'm going to put up a good example, actually. This is one I
Yeah.
did earlier this year of my Kageyama from Haikyuu.
Yeah.
So this is the before. This is the after. Okay? They're just basic color things. I just shifted the number on the shirt up a bit, but it's cool. Like, you can do cool things with it. So, mess around. If you've got Photoshop, you find a way to get it, or you do the student subscription. Student subscription's great. Mess around with it, because learning Photoshop is terrific.
Yes.
And if you can't kind of get onto that, you don't have a big computer, because it does require a bit of a processing power. Hey?
Nothing.
What was that?
You can
No,
get
we had
it
nothing.
other
You
ways.
can get it other ways.
But also make sure to check with your photographer if you're allowed to edit these photos as well. If you're self-shooting, go crazy.
Go crazy.
But if you're using photographer photos, make sure you have their permission to edit them before you start editing them.
That's a good one, actually, because I usually like editing my own,
Yeah.
because I've got particular taste,
Yeah.
I suppose.
You just need to tell them photographers
So I was like, hey, look, I'm going to edit them.
time.
Is that okay with you? And they're usually okay
Usually
with
they're fine with it. Some
Yeah.
aren't. Some want to control their work, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to check. Just got to communicate that beforehand. I think we didn't mention that before, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's a good idea to have like a contract nearly.
it. If it's something,
Depends.
I think that, especially it's got money involved.
Yes.
If it's got
yeah.
money involved, you might want to get into a
Yeah.
We'll talk about that another time. But
Agreement, yeah. A
agreements.
written agreement of what's going to happen.
what's
yeah,
going to happen
yeah.
if you use photos for XYZ reason.
Yeah, if you want to sell prints, if you're making
sell
money off them,
prints. If you're
literally.
selling prints, you need to talk to your
You
photographer.
cannot just...
Because those photos, they actually don't belong to you. They belong to the photographer.
Yeah, which
Whether or
Wait,
not.
you also need to credit them on all your friggin'
Oh,
social media
yeah.
posts.
Big thing. If you get a photographer, you tell the world who took your photo. Because that photo actually belongs to them. It doesn't belong to you, even if you're the only person in it.
You're committing cosplay social suicide if
Social
you don't
suicide.
tag your cosplay
You tag your
photographer.
cosplayer. I mean, cosplayer
Both.
photographer.
Both. If you're the
Cosplayer.
photographer, tag the cosplayer.
Tag the cosplayer. They like to be known.
Yes.
They're going to give you the due credit, I hope.
I feel like we could nearly extend and go over this into another episode talking about photographers, cosplay, like everything. to do
Look,
with
this
editing.
is... Yeah, well, editing is, I
Yeah,
think, another
yeah.
big one, but just depending on how you like to do it. But we kind of give them a little taste of, how to get into photography, or, well, if you are a cosplayer, how to kind of find people who take photos, how to do photo shoots, how to do it yourself.
Some red flags you
the
should
red
avoid.
flags you watch out
Yes.
for. But we want to ask you guys, what's some stories that you've got? Good experiences, bad experiences that you've had with photographers? Do you have any photographers you'd like to give a shout out to? Because
Yeah.
we're always out to meet new people and new people to work with. I don't even know. Have we taken photos of Promised Neverland? Are we going to do that?
I want to. I want to talk to you about that, but
Yeah?
I feel like we should wait until we improve the costumes
Right,
and then
right.
shoot them. Maybe.
I've got a few things I want to do. I don't know
Yeah.
what you want to do with it. What do you want to improve?
I need
with?
to fix the shoes, and I need
Right,
to
shoes.
fix the wig a bit. I think, yeah.
Mate, those hands are going to look more
Keen.
skeletal.
I'm very keen to see
Yeah,
how they turn out.
that's the plan.
Hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, good plan. We are going to take photos as well. We're gonna. Well, that's part of the hobby. You get into everything. You're a cosplayer.
And a model.
You're a model. You are a wig maker, a makeup artist, a prop maker,
A seamstress.
a seamstress,
A content creator.
a content creator, a Photoshop artist, a model. We mentioned model already.
Yeah.
You're everything. You're a cosplayer. You're the most multi-talented person that we know.
You matter.
You matter. Don't put yourself down thinking, I'm just a You're not just a cosplayer.
So
you are
much
so
more.
much more than that. Yeah.
All right. Should
That's
we leave
pretty
it
good.
there?
I think we'll leave it there. We're going to go too far again,
We
but
will.
that's the point of this podcast. As usual, if you enjoyed this episode, please go onto Spotify or Google Podcasts, wherever you like listening to your podcasts. Give us a rating
And review.
and review, because it really helps out the podcast a lot.
Shares it so other people in the real world can listen to it too.
Yeah, share it to your other cosplay friends. Let your parents know about it. Show them how cool cosplay can be.
Show your teachers at school.
Who are your teachers at school? God, that's going to be another thing. School. Cosplay. Oh, man,
Do we have any ground to draw off.
Man, it's
I
a
feel
while
like we're
ago.
a bit out of school.
Out of school now.
Anyway,
but
thank you for tuning in.
thanks
to
for tuning
today's
in.
episode.
We'll catch you next week.
We're gonna take a bit of a break, but we'll be back. Next episode after this will be a very special festive episode.
Festive
we believe.
episode. We're gonna right into it. This holiday cheer.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what we're doing yet, but we'll figure it out.
There won't be mistletoe.
No, absolutely not. We might have some tinsel and a Santa hat.
And some eggnog. We'll see.
Ooh,
We're
alcoholic
gonna have-
version?
Probably.
That sounds
We'll
fun.
see.
That's festive. Special episode coming up next week, so get ready.
Make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications if you want to be the first to see it when it launches.
It's gonna be
Alright.
great. All
See you
right,
then.
see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.